Namaste ji. I would like to thank Brand Story and Mr. Abhay Kaushik, Managing Director, Brand Story, for inviting me to speak on this prestigious forum. I would also like to thank Mrs. Nirja Ji Birla, Sister Shivani Ji, my dear brother Sri Gopichand Pulela, dear Sister Nivedita Ji, and all other speakers and panelists, and most importantly, our Honorable Minister Ashwini Kumar Chaubey Ji. Once again, pranams to you all. During the last 18 or 19 months, we have all been witnessing one of the largest humanitarian crises in recent history. Many families in India have been beset by human tragedy because of the COVID pandemic, and our hearts go out to them. We are still in the process of emerging from this stagnation and can learn so much from our own history, which offers us many lessons in how to be resilient, even though the process of bouncing back isn't immediate. It requires a step-by-step approach to recover from setbacks, with openness to learning in the process and pausing for long enough to set a new direction from the lessons we learned. There are many historical examples to choose from, starting with the story of Rama and Sita, then the Mahabharata war, and more recently our nation's journey of independence during the last century, which is still emerging in the present times. Freedom from Britishers, and previously enslavement under the Islamic as well as the Mughals. They all teach us a great lesson. All of us are born resilient. When we observe small children learning to walk, they fall over again and again. In fact, they develop the physical skills of balance, agility, and coordination because of these falls, not despite of them. So-called failure is a necessary stepping stone to success, and that is true in any field. We all learn through experience. As small children, we do this very naturally. It is only once we develop the consciousness of failure as opposed to continuous improvement that we forget what it means to have a courageous and resilient approach to life. As adults, when we embark on a challenge, we sometimes fear the obstacles we will surely face, and maybe also the opinions of others. Most of all, however, what prevents us from achieving our goals is our fear of our own inadequacies. It is a sad thing really, given that we all have so much potential to succeed and thrive. In fact, we have more capacity than we can possibly imagine. We just need to learn the methods to access it. Our heart is naturally resilient, and simple heart-based practices allow us to tune into the heart so that we can uncover our true potential, harness the true potential. The heart then becomes our guiding star, our compass. It takes the lead and guides us through difficult times and challenges. My observations over the years of practice of meditation and remaining in tune with the heart is that it makes sensitive in understanding right from wrong. Once this discerning intelligence dawns, we are able to make sound decisions. The methods of yoga, in particularly meditations, have been part of our Indian culture since time, I don't know how long. There is no record of all this. For anything to become a part of a culture, a national fabric. At least 70% population must embrace such a habit so as to be recognized as a cultural trait. When we observe on numbers of individuals truly meditating, you will notice hardly 10% population meditates. And out of this 10%, some will do only either pranayama or just yogasanas, and some only just the meditation. We need the integration of all this to look after our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. We need to combine all the 8 steps of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The complete package is a must to achieve physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And in modern times, these yogic practices have been simplified and refined so as to fit in to our daily busier lives, to our daily and very busy lifestyle. I am sharing this from a personal experience. I spent almost over 30 years as a pharmacist in New York City, building a chain of pharmacies there that are still successful today. In fact, the business continues to expand. All the while, I managed to find time to do heartfulness practices every single day. And I am so grateful as they made me better at my job, better as a family man, better as a friend, and a colleague to others. When I landed in the US, I had $20 in my pocket. Like most immigrants from India, those days in 70s and 80s could not carry more than very limited amount out of India. Well, it was a foreign country. My family were all back in India then, and there were many challenges, both at a professional and social. Brooklyn, New York was not an easy place to set up a business back in the 80s. Such situations can either make or break a person. Thanks to the inner centeredness I experienced because of the heartfulness practices, I was naturally able to approach this situation as an opportunity to grow and make something of life, both materially and spiritually. Of course, hard work was required, but even the hardest work feels effortless when we find inspiration, enthusiasm, and love for what we are doing, because our hearts have been opened through these practices. An organization is like a family. It depends for its success upon stable relationships of mutual trust, love, and respect. Many of you may spend more time at work than with your own families. So ask yourself, how do I speak with my employees? How well do I listen to their ideas, their concerns, and their questions? How do I motivate them and enable them to put their hearts into the organization? How can I adapt my own attitudes to be more inclusive with their needs? When we transform ourselves to become effective leaders, we create a sense of belonging among our associates and everyone within the organization. Thus, they will thrive with this mutual belongingness. Associates and employees are the core of any organizations, and when an organization has a stable core, it can withstand any crisis. Heartfulness practices are excellent tools to enable individual resilience. So how do we then translate that inner calm into outer behavior? Listening and pausing both play an important role in achieving a balanced heart and mind, openness of attitude, heartful communication, emotional wisdom, clear decision making, transparency, and trust in the workplace. When we learn to listen to our own hearts and to the feelings of others, and when we learn to pause instead of reacting, we become capable of correct thinking and right understanding. And these skills naturally develop as a result of a meditative mind. As a nation, we are also striving to achieve harmony and balance. What are the values and principles we honor? Our culture is already replete with them. We don't need to search outside to find our bearings. We already have a strong foundation of values to fall back on when faced with challenges. We just need to revive those values in today's world. What brings me so much of hope is that those values will arise naturally as more and more people take up the regular practice of yoga, and especially the meditation. Today, we sit at a crossroads in India. What choices will we make as a nation in this post-COVID world? So far, we have been active in the fight against the pandemic, offering preventive measures to the world, such as yoga, meditation, and Ayurveda, as well as making our own vaccines and mobilizing our frontline workers who have done an exceptional job in treating the sick and rolling out vaccines. But we still have a long way to go if we are to once more become a nation worthy of our ancestral heroes like Rama and Sita, Ashtavakra, Vishwamitra, Bhishma, the Pandavas, Lord Krishna, Radha, to name just a few, whose resilience and acceptance of life's challenges still leave most of us wanting. Are we up to those challenges? As Swami Vivekananda famously said, and I quote, "Unfurl that banner of love. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." Unquote. Such relentless courage, resilience, and faith in the divine potential of all human beings can once more become our base, if we are willing. May it be so. I thank you all and look forward to an enlightened future. Pranams.